know, we may be a day late, a dollar short, and yours truly might be sick, but we're here today to provide a Monday Night Raw review powered by Google Hangouts. Hey, YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's time to work.
This is Chris Hero, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Greetings, YouTube. Yeah, worked your way into another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. I am the WrestleGamer, Double People in Lucha. Today is Wednesday, November 4th, 2015. I want to bring you guys up to speed as of late for the lack of wrestling videos over this past week and a half, especially when it pertains to yesterday when normally we get the Monday Night Raw review up. There were a couple of things that did come up. For one thing, my little brothers, they were inexplicably off from school. There was an unannounced teacher in-service day, and normally in St. Martin Parish, whenever they have like these big kind of things that happen, they always call and notify all the parents of all the students that there would be a teacher in service, and for this instance, they failed to do that. So nobody was aware that my little brothers, who I work with in the afternoons, had the day off. So that's one of the reasons why yours truly was not available to do a Monday Night Raw review yesterday. And yesterday, also, if you guys can't tell, I'm recovering from a head cold. I've been chewing these, having these by my side like crazy to try to relieve my cold, relieve the cough.
And for the record, folks, he's really sick of all the haters. That's really what's making him sick.
I don't want to laugh too much. That makes my throat hurt. As you guys can tell. But yeah, it really sucks being sick. Let's just say that. It's no fun at all. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the Monday Night Raw review. We'll try to power our way through this. And joining me on the Raw review today, guys and gals, you know him as the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head. Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Billy. Let's get the show started.
Well, let's look at the opening segment of Monday Night Raw this week, where they kind of set up what I thought was kind of weird, a Survivor Series main event for Monday Night Raw. I'm still kind of confused as to why they would set up a Survivor Series elimination tag match for a main event for Monday Night Raw. Would that be any clear indication that we wouldn't be seeing, Rick, in your opinion, would that be any indication that we would not be seeing any huge abundance of the traditional Survivor Series gimmick matches at the actual pay-per-view? Rick?
Yeah, what I think is they might have one or two at the pay-per-view, or maybe just one big one, and they are having more. And for the record, I was reading the highlights. Of course, no spoilers, but they will be having a 4-on-4 on this coming SmackDown.
Wow. Well, in a sense, it would be it's kind of a decent way to kind of set up the actual Survivor Series pay-per-view. A good way to promote it, to get fans who aren't acquainted with the gimmick style of the tag match to, get themselves familiar with that. But that's pretty much how they would set up the opening segment. It would be Team Reigns versus Team Rollins, and throughout the night, we would kind of get indications of, we would get confirmations of who was going to be on Team Rollins, but we had no idea who was going to be on Roman Reigns. Now, we would get some, because me and this Stunning and Ashley, we were on Skype Monday night, and we were kind of discussing it back and forth, and we kind of expected who was going to be on Roman Reigns' team, but we'll get to that point, then talk about it when we get to the main event. Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. Decent match. And I still know that our paranormal investigator friend Andy Rick is still not sold on Kevin Owens whatsoever. Rick? Rick might be having some issues with his microphone.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was away from the phone. So, real quick, bring me up.
I was saying that our paranormal investigator friend Andy is still not sold on Kevin Owens whatsoever.
Yeah. You know what? And that's just his personal opinion. But if you ask me, I'm very sold on Kevin Owens. I think he could definitely be one of the future big stars as the years go by. I don't think he's ready just yet.
What are your opinions so far on the build-up of the feud, the angle they're doing right now with Dolph Ziggler and Tyler Breeze? And by the way, you had to ask me a question. I'm going to very, very quickly answer that question because I don't think I ever answered you on that one. You had asked me the signature move name for Tyler Breeze. It's the Beauty Shot.
Wow, go figure. I'm really not a big fan of Tyler Breeze. What he's doing in the main roster is beyond me. He reminds me of a watered-down HBK.
Yeah, we had recently talked about that. The Studman Ashley is actually messaging me on Skype. Rick, if you could quickly bring him up to speed us what we're currently doing at the moment, that would be a very big help. I would like to say that currently, right now, with the way the main roster has been doing right now, we need some fresh faces, regardless of what people feel about each character, a gimmick or not. It's time to see some fresh faces and some new faces on the main roster to try to turn that brand around, because right now with the current brand and the current roster that they have right now, it's not doing a very good job. So I think we need to see some of the fresher, younger faces from NXT going up to the main roster to try to turn the main roster around, in my personal opinion.
I have to agree with you, and I think one of the bigger issues, and a lot of fans agree that the 3-hour show is a big issue, a big problem. And I've said this more than once. I think what they should do is go down to 2 hours and have the third hour be like an NXT takeover. Still keep things on the NXT on the network, but have the newer guys come in there and give them the shine, while the more advanced guys, such as Samoa Joe, James Storm, Finn Balor, and a few others, jump on there.
Has anybody ever found out the name of James Storm's NXT theme? Because that theme is awesome.
Not yet.
That I gotta say, it's a countrified, real awesome theme for James Storm, and it's kind of odd because we get to see him on NXT and in the Impact Championship tournament they got going on right now in TNA, which I think is hilarious. So if anybody can find that out, I would love to download that theme because that theme sounds awesome. But anyway, let's get to the next match. Cesaro and The Miz. I really don't know why we had Cesaro versus The Miz. Weren't they in a memory serves me, this past SmackDown, the Halloween themed SmackDown, there was a trick or treat street fight. If memory serves me right, weren't Cesaro and The Miz in last year's trick or treat street fight?
I believe so. Don't hold me to it.
But anyway, it was a decent match. I'm really not gonna say anything bad about it. From what I was told from the Studman Ashley, when Claudio Castagnoli, aka Cesaro, and Jamie Noble did a match in the indie scene, he couldn't clarify as to what promotion he was. They did the Cesaro swing, but instead of like 10 or 20 rotations, and Ashley said that this was legit, that it was done 100 times. I'm like, wow, I would have puked after 5, to be honest. So you really couldn't spin me that many times and not, have going like that. But it was a decent match. It was Cesaro swing into the Sharpshooter for Cesaro to pick up the win. So it was a decent match. Now, on to the Bray Wyatt promo. There have been a lot of mixed feelings and a lot of different opinions as to the approach of the promo that Bray Wyatt cut, claiming to have absorbed the powers of King and The Undertaker. As far as going on the mic goes, Bray Wyatt really sticking to his promos. I really want to quickly mention something. One of the YouTube channels that I watched frequently is the Joe Cronin Show, and just recently he had Vince Russo on his channel to talk about Bray Wyatt, among other WWE superstars, and Vince Russo is completely sold on Bray Wyatt, but he one of the things that he is not sold on is the direction that the gimmick is going, and he blames WWE creative and the WWE writing team. He's really sold on how talented Bray Wyatt truly is, but he's really disappointed as to the lack of creative and how they can't seem to get Bray Wyatt to be more over than he already is. And in a sense, I can kind of see where he's coming from, Rick, when he's talking about that.
Well, let me say this. First off, I happen to like the gimmick itself. It's kind of like a Charles Manson gimmick, which really is a big thing. And, that's why he has his clan, which is really followers of clans. And, Charlie Manson made himself believe that he had, had all these powers and had the followers. The followers truly believed them, and that they're using the Undertaker/Kane powers. It just adds to that. Now, I'm going to be, as far as Vince Russo, he's nothing but a crybaby. He says that everybody's creative is all terrible, but yet, you know what? Look at him. He's failed at not one, not two, but 3 different companies. So I think he has no one to bitch.
Now, when it comes to the special effects part of the promo, when they were trying to implement the lightning that came on the screen to kick off the pyro that was around the ring and on the staging area, I can understand that it would be a huge, it's really difficult even for a mainstream company like WWE to kind of implement those kind of special effects on a live broadcast. But the way they did it, I still have to kind of knock on for that, because the way they portray those lightning effects to come down, I've seen better special effects on the 1980s movie Halloween movie than what they did on Monday Night Raw, Rick.
I gotta disagree with you. I really thought that the way they did the pyro and the lightning was pretty good for what it was. And, like you said, with Hollywood movies, you could make, super, like spaceships fly in outer space. You know what I mean? So it's a really bad comparison, and I have to say, for what it was in the whole promo, and I'm not usually a Bray Wyatt fan with his promo, but that was an exception to the rule.
Now, one of the things that took me by surprise Monday night on Raw was the ending to the Lucha Dragons versus King Barrett and Sheamus match, because as of late, from the way it was, from my vantage point, it looked like King Barrett and Sheamus were kind of being pushed like a faction or tag team as of late, and I was kind of just expecting the Lucha Dragons to just job to King Barrett and Sheamus. But what really caught me by surprise, Rick, is the fact that the Lucha Dragons went over on King Barrett and Sheamus. That was something I didn't expect. And Rick's having issues with his mic.
For a while, that they were getting a bit jobbed. And I think that's why they needed that win. As far as Wyatt and as far as Barrett and Sheamus goes, there has been reports that they are pushing them together as a team.
I want to ask your opinion on this, Rick. Your reactions backstage to seeing Jack Swagger confront Zeb Coulter about what he's doing on Monday Night Raw. What was your thoughts on that?
I have to say, there's a huge improvement with him, and I'm not the only one. Ms. Jack shit and I watched it, and she even said, wow, he looks a lot better. The beard, he seems to be talking a little bit better, so it looks like he's had some really good development, and I am impressed.
Do you believe that this could be the inception of an angle between Jack Swagger and Alberto Del Rio for the United States Championship? Or as he calls it, the Mex-American Championship?
I want to see that, but the problem is I have a bad feeling that they're going to give Alberto Del Rio the win, and Jack's going to just go back to the jobber status, which I don't want to see. I want to see Jack Swagger get that push. He is a former world champion. He did have it at one point, and then for some reason the WWE kind of threw him on the back burner, so to speak.
There's a Fatal 4-Way Divas match on Monday Night Raw to determine the new number one contender. It was Paige, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Brie Bella. First thing I want to say is I hate that Brie Mode entrance theme. It is so damn awful, and it makes no sense whatsoever. And what's worse is that WWE actually is starting to market a t-shirt that we even saw Brie Bella wearing on Monday Night Raw that said Brie mode activated. What the hell is that supposed to mean anyway? Brie mode activated. Does that mean like once your Brie mode is activated, you suck? You're horrible?
We always make jokes about the whole Brie mode shout, and we were saying at one time on HWR, I was like, you know what? I wonder if she screams that when she's in bed with Daniel Bryan. She goes, Brie mode! And I wonder if that would really kill Daniel Bryan's confidence.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that last week on HWR when you had me on In the Moment on Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick. I kind of distinctly remember that.
Yeah, but as far as this Fatal 4-Way match, it was too far predictable. I knew exactly who was going to win before the match even started. Obviously, the way they've been doing with the Paige, Charlotte feud, it was so obvious.
Yeah, but think about an alternate scenario that they could have done that would have been incredibly awesome to see at Survivor Series, given how well their feud was in NXT. The alternate scenario of Charlotte defending the Divas Championship against Sasha Banks. Can you imagine how awesome that match would have been to see on Survivor Series, given in the past how great their matches and their feuds have been in the past?
Yes, I would think it would be, but I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to build both of them up a little bit more, so when that does happen, the fans are truly going to mark out. Keep in mind, a lot of the fans, and there's only a small portion who really watches NXT. If you have the network, then fine, but those who don't have the network don't know who these ladies are. They only know them as WWE roster. They know they were from NXT, but they really didn't see that feud and the chemistry.
One thing I will applaud on about the Fatal 4-Way match is the way that Paige kind of straddled Becky Lynch to pin her. That's all I'm going to go with. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You can't deny that. That was a nice looking pin.
I think that was the camel toe of the week.
No, well, what about the gratuitous crotch shot from Sasha Banks when she did the bank statement on Becky Lynch?
Well, she usually is the winner of the camel toe of the week. That's over on HWR, but I think this time, Becky deserved that position.
And finally, we're going to go to the Survivor Series elimination main event for Monday Night Raw. Now, at that point, it was known that on Seth Rollins' team, we saw the return of Xavier. What the hell was that face that he made backstage? It was like the most ridiculous. He was like, "Oh, I'm back," kind of like that. It was kind of ridiculous. And I gotta say, I love how New Day is just owning this gimmick. They're owning this goofy, comedic heel style of outrageous gimmick, and they're just taking it and running with it, and it's just been absolutely hilarious to see. It was New Day, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins. Now, at this point, me and the Southern Man Ashley were speculating on one set of possibilities for Roman Reigns' tag team partners: Dean Ambrose, Ryback, and the Dudley Boys. Those were our set possibilities. Now, it was confirmed about Ryback and Dean Ambrose. We were right on the money about that. What really took us by surprise, Rick, was the appearance of the Usos. I never expected to see the Usos out there. I was more expected to see the Dudley Boys out there than the Usos.
I think they need to bring the Usos back because, let's be honest, the Dudleys and a New Day, it's kind of getting the wing a little bit thin, so they needed to start a new gimmick, a new feud, especially with Survivor Series being a couple weeks away. So I think it was good timing. It was shocking, but it was good timing.
Okay. Well, here are the order of the eliminations that happened on in the match, guys. First, the elimination, it was Jey Uso hitting the Samoan Splash on Xavier Woods to eliminate him. Then it was Jimmy Uso with the Frog Splash on Kofi Kingston. Then Big E hit the big ending on Jey Uso. Then Kevin Owens would hit the pop-up Powerbomb on Jimmy Uso. Ryback would hit the Shell Shock on Big E. Seth Rollins would hit the Pedigree on Ryback. Dean Ambrose would hit Dirty Deeds on Kevin Owens. And then for the final elimination, Seth Rollins would result to using a steel chair on Dean Ambrose to cause a disqualification. Therefore, by the way, there was an error, because whenever you're in a Survivor Series match, the surviving members of your team are considered the winners, not the whole team, just the surviving members. It's the way that's always been, and they announced that the whole team team Roman Reigns won the match, when in actuality they should have announced just Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose as the winners of the Survivor Series elimination match. But there's one other thing I quickly want to address before we go into overall scores, and it was something that kind of irked both me and the Studly Man Ashley, Rick, when it came to Monday Night Raw, is the fact that the crowd, one would think was kind of an IWC heavy crowd, considering the fact that there were so many mixed and ridiculous reactions. Let me quickly explain. In one instance, Brie Bella got a huge pop from the crowd, which kind of ticked off the Studly Man Ashley, because Brie Bella was supposed to be a heel. Kevin Owens also got a huge pop. So did the New Day. As the by the way, the Studly Man Ashley has now just joined us here on the review. Ashley, do you want to quickly explain? Because I remember you talking about it on the Skype call as to the mixed reactions of the crowd from Monday Night Raw. You want to quickly explain your feelings about that? As the Studly Man Ashley is having issues with his microphone, but there was like varying instances when it came to the unusual crowd reaction from the people on Monday Night Raw. They booed Charlotte when she was doing her promo on the Titantron, which kind of made no sense to me, since Charlotte was supposed to be face. And it just really, I really found it odd. Rick, did you kind of notice that those reactions were kind of odd from the crowd in Denver?
I noticed it, but I didn't find it odd. You gotta understand, and Billy, you of all people should know that wrestling fans are fickle. They're gonna cheer who they want to cheer for, and they're gonna boo who they're gonna boo for. The whole theory of faces and heels, they have to play that role right. Heels have got to play the role. In case in point, Seth Rollins. People hate Seth Rollins. Why? Doing his job. When people boo for faces and cheer for heels, you're not doing the right job. Now, I've said this more than once. John Cena is getting more boos than cheers. He should have the role as a heel. He should be the role as a cheater, and that's something we don't see very much more of these days. The heels just pretty much just say bad things. They don't cheat to win. That's what heels do. They pull the dirty moves. They do the back scratches. They do the eye rakes. They do the low blows. They do all the stuff that gets to cheating, and that is the problem today. So until then, fans are going to cheer for who they want to cheer for, and they're going to boo for who they want to be booed for. It's that simple.
Studly Man Ashley's got his microphone issues sorted. Ashley, you want to talk about your reactions to the crowd from Monday Night Raw?
It's not the fans that is the issue. It's not even the wrestlers that's the issue. It's the writers. Because the fact of the matter is, the reaction the Divas have been getting has been the same reaction for weeks, if not months.
Well, I think the reason why it's, again...
They're trying to book Paige as a heel, but because they know she's a good wrestler, rather than a good entertainer, that's why they cheer her. They cheer Brie Bella because she's married to Daniel Bryan. I'm surprised the bookers haven't realised that, considering that's been going for the last 8 to 9 months.
Yeah. But again, this is something that they need to start doing. Brie Bella needs to give them a reason to hate them. What they should do is they should do a segment where her and her husband fight, and she completely just demolishes her husband. Now, let's be honest.
Yeah, but then you've got TMZ snooping about, and we've seen the effect of that. Look at Rusev and bloody Lana.
Okay, I agree, which is probably why they took him off TV. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring him back as faces. But again, the problem is it's all about the performance in the ring. Yes, the creative has pretty much a lot of the last say, but look at CM Punk. CM Punk did what he wanted, how he wanted to do, and when he wanted to be a heel, he got booed. When he wanted to be a face, he got cheered. The only time people cheered for him is when he left.
Did you gentlemen notice after the match, the Divas Fatal 4-Way match, excuse me, when they did the interview segment with Paige, and Paige was getting cheered from the crowd in Denver, that during that promo, she was doing everything she can to get heat from that crowd to try to do her job as a heel.
Promos are, yes, but promos are not going to do it. You know, look at Seth Rollins. He's cheated to win most of his matches. That's why they hate him. You have to cheat to win. That's what heels do. Promos are not going to cut it alone. Period.
Overall score on Monday Night Raw this week, it's going to get like a solid 3.25 out of 5. It really didn't suck as much as the past Monday Night Raws have been, but it's like at a steady pace. It's at a steady angle. It hasn't gotten better, but on the same token, it hasn't gotten worse. Best match of the night, I'm actually going to give it to the Survivor Series elimination tag match. I thought it was very interesting. My hats off to WWE Creative for one swerve in the fact that they brought the Usos back on Monday Night Raw, which is something that both me and the Stunning and Ashley were both caught off guard about that, because we were both readily expecting the Dudley Boys to be the tag team in that team for Monday Night Raw, and nobody saw the Usos. Jey Uso, by the way, looked in phenomenal shape. He had been off of TV for quite some time.
Admittedly, Billy, there were rumors that, the Usos were coming back, but I didn't think it would be within like 48 hours of the supposed report coming out. I didn't think it'd be that quick. I think that's why I was caught off guard.
Worst match, I'm sorry to say it, but it's going to go to the Divas Fatal 4-Way match. It was just way...
Shame on you. I love that match. Becky was good.
I think you heard my twin sister just give her opinions about the Fatal 4-Way, and I got kicked for it. The overall execution of the match... The overall execution of the match wasn't bad per se, but the thing that really irked me about it was the predictability factor, and I've said it for the longest time on here. When wrestling becomes predictable, it becomes boring. Now, sometimes there's the exceptions to the rule that if the execution and the overall performance was there, then the predictability factor can be excused. But the overall performance was kind of meh. In my personal opinion, it wasn't good, it wasn't spectacular, but it wasn't bad on the same token. But the predictability factor, and the fact, when I say that, is the fact that we've seen them, pushing the angle, pushing the storyline of Charlotte and Paige, and we all kind of expected, we all kind of knew that they were going to do Charlotte versus Paige for the Divas Championship match, and it was just, having the number one contenders match, to me, was just kind of a waste of time, in my opinion. They're already pushing the angle between Paige and Charlotte, regardless if it's for the Divas Championship or not. So that's one of the reasons why it irked me just a little bit. So that's why I have to give it to the Divas Fatal 4-Way Championship match. But again, a big clap to Paige's pin on Becky Lynch. That's all I'm going to leave it at that. Ashley, I'm going to go over to you next, and I'm going to get your overall score, because you just got here, and your overall thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week.
We're doing it on this weird sort of grading system. I'd have to give it a 3.5, because, finally we've seen an upturn in about 8 weeks. Ever since SummerSlam, it's really been a case of, Raw's rubbish, pay-per-view could be good. And last night it was an entertaining show. I mean, mainly because Kevin Owens wrestled twice. I'm biased. But I think best match should go to the 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, just because you don't normally see it on television. You normally have to pay for it. Worst match isn't even the worst match. Worst segment. The backstage thing with Coulter and Del Rio and the return of Jack Swagger to at least mainstream television. Because Jack Swagger came in and the crowd was like, "Who's that?" I need to go to Wikipedia. And that just flopped. It was like, it wasn't even sort of a, he's back, or a, oh my god, he's back. It was sort of a, who? And I just feel for him. He's a victim of circumstance and marijuana.
Oh god. And if I may cut in, I have to say, as I talked to Billy about that before, I thought the segment was a little bit better. It showed that Jack Swagger, he's got a new look. It's a little bit more of a gruff look as opposed to the clean-cut look. And his speech has gotten a little bit better, so it looks like his development's improved. And I think, obviously one segment's not going to work. My only worry is if he goes against Alberto Del Rio, he's going to go back to jobber status.
All right, well, Rick, over to you. Your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week.
I'm going to give it, again, the 3.5. It was, for what it was, entertaining. There was a few good segments that I really had to give hands to. When Seth Rollins was in the back trying to recruit the New Day, you can see, it was like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? And also, hands off to the Bray Wyatt in that segment. So, really great. The worst, obviously, the Divas. I predicted who was going to win before the match even started.
Well, anyway, guys and girls, what we want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Monday Night Raw this week? We definitely want to hear what you guys out there have to say. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Rick, where can fans check you out on HWR?
Well, if you want to check out any of our podcasts, tribute videos, and much, much more, head on over to youtube.com/HWR show and make some comments, hit that subscribe button, and help support us. Also, we do have the HWR chat room over in the group section on Facebook.com. So if you want to come in, join in the conversation or even create your own conversation, that's the place to go.
Sterling and Ashley, do you have any upcoming projects you want everyone to know about?
Yeah, I'm going to keep talking and nobody explodes.
Also, guys, don't forget to check out today's gameplay, which is Frambo. And by the way, the freakiest thing I've seen in the game so far is that two-headed baby. And the only way to find out what I mean by two-headed baby is to click on the link in the annotations at the end of this video for you guys to check out. And I'll also have more from Dead Space 3, and also coming up soon, it'll be Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes right here on WGS-TV, which was kind of fun / headache-ish. But the only way to check that out, guys and gals, again, the videos will be in the annotations at the end of this video for you guys to check out as well. So with that being said, for the Study Man Ashley and the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head, don't be like Bujo saying, we'll see ya at the next Warp Zone. What in? Hey, no peeking. With that, she slid onto...
Ladies and gentlemen, the patented Sonic Screwdriver